Over the past few lessons, you've been learning about the age of exploration, particularly the motivations for exploration and the voyages of numerous explorers. In this lesson, we'll be learning about two of the largest impacts of the age of exploration. These impacts include how the age of exploration caused the diffusion of ideas, technology, plants, and animals to be exchanged around the world. If you'll remember from our earlier study, diffusion means the spread of goods and ideas from one area or group of people to others. The second impact talks about how the age of exploration increased competition between European countries as they each tried to claim land and start colonies in Asia and the Americas. The exchange of living things between the eastern and western hemispheres that began after Columbus's voyages came to be known as the Columbian Exchange. This exchange included people, plants, animals, and even diseases. Europeans brought goods such as wheat, onions, grapes, sugarcane, and oranges to the Americas. They also brought animals such as cattle, sheep, and horses. As Europeans returned to Europe, they brought with them corn, potatoes, pumpkins, pineapples, as well as turkeys and tobacco. If you'll look at the diagram on your screen, you can see a long list of other goods that were introduced to the first time either to the eastern or western hemisphere. Unfortunately, it wasn't just food and animals that were exchanged in the Columbian Exchange. Diseases were also brought to the New World from Europe. Diseases such as smallpox and measles were transported to the Americas, killing about 20 million Native Americans. The picture you see here is of a man suffering from smallpox. In addition to the goods that were exchanged between the two hemispheres in the Columbian Exchange, another trade pattern emerged between the eastern and western hemispheres that came to be known as the triangular trade. It was called the triangular trade because the trade goods moved in a triangular pattern between the Americas, Europe, and Africa. Raw goods such as sugar, cotton, and tobacco that were grown in the Americas were sent to Europe, where they were turned into manufactured goods, which were in turn traded to Africa to pay for slaves that were then sent to the Americas to work the plantations where the raw goods of tobacco, cotton, and sugar were grown in the first place. This cycle of trade continued for more than 300 years, during which time about 10 million slaves were shipped to the Americas. As world trade increased, European nations competed for colonies overseas. As we've discussed before, land provided natural resources that granted wealth and power to its owners. Portugal, Spain, England, France, and even the Netherlands all competed for territory and trade privileges in the Americas. If you'll take a second to study the map on the screen, you can see the land that was claimed by the different countries during colonization.